Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another OOTP 21 video. And I just want to go over something quickly here that I forgot to go over in the last video. Just basically our Major League roster, which is probably kind of important to the series and know what our roster is looking like when we start off the season. So here you can see all the players in our starting lineup and all the players on the active roster that are batters, of course, and then the pitching staff. And of course, the lineup isn't really how we would chalk it up, of course, but we're not really going to look to fire any of our personnel here because it's, of course, the first year and we're not really trying to contend at this point. So there's no point in firing all of our staff to get guys with a better reputation or anyone who matches the kind of analytic playing style we're going to try to use in this franchise. So, of course, I mean, Karen Maben, obviously, probably one of the better leadoff options we'd have since he actually has good discipline, but I know he's only here for the speed rating that he has, so that's just kind of a bonus in that fact. I mean, we also have Victor Reyes, who's not really a good hitter at all, so I mean, he's not totally useless at the plate, but definitely not a guy who we'd want hitting second on our team. And of course, here we've got the pitching staff, which is definitely going to change throughout the season as we call up a lot of the pitching prospects that we have. I'm definitely going to leave them all down in the minors to start the year because all three of them pretty much only had their first pretty much full season at a AA last year, so we're definitely going to get them some experience in AAA before we get them called up. And of course, there's some other guys like Jacoby Jones, Spencer Turnbull, and Jake Rogers, who are all going to definitely get shots at the Major League team later in the year. So when I see you guys next time, we'll be at the first year player draft. But of course, I'll pop in an update if there's any significant injuries or really anything that I think significant happens that need to be updated on. So we'll check in then. So here we're just gonna go over quick the top prospects list that was published. I definitely forgot that this came out on opening day, which we weren't quite there yet, which I didn't realize when we were starting the series. So, of course, here we got the top 10. Of course, here's Casey Mize at number 7 in here. Looking pretty good, especially compared to, he is ranked as a top prospect according to this list here. And coming in as a team at number 4 here on the top minor league systems in all of baseball, we have, of course, Mize at 7, Manning at 12, Riley Green, an outfielder with looks like a great potential for hitting ratings, with all those ratings there. Only 3-star overall, but he's only 19 and has a long time until I'd expect him to reach the majors and make an impact. He only reached A-ball last year, and it was his first professional season, so it was a long way to go probably until he sees major league action. Then here we have Scaball, I think it is, here at I missed which number. He was 47, so the 4 guys that we have on this list, of course, all top 50, so pretty good right there. Bodes well for the future. Have definitely one of the better minor league systems, which is good and really going to help us rebuild the team. So now I'll actually check back in at the first year player draft. Okay, so now we are here at the day of the first year player draft, but first let's take a quick look at how we've been doing so far this season. So as you can see, we are in 3rd place actually, below above the White Sox, who are projected by a lot of people to have a breakout season this year in real life if we actually had the season. Yeah, we're in 3rd place. We actually bounced around in 1st place for a while. We actually started out 10-5, which I thought was kind of impressive. And then, of course, no team has really pulled away, really any division except the Dodgers. Actually, wow, they're 15-11. That's gross. They're on a 10-game win streak. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so everyone's pretty much pretty close. Wow, the Red Sox are 20-44. That's pretty crazy. I'd pretty much projected them as being like a low 80s, a win team in real life. But I mean, wonder if they have had a lot of injuries this year, but we gotta focus on our team for now. So yeah, we're in third place, pretty close, 4 games out of first place, but obviously don't really care because we're not trying to win pretty much at all. So let's take a quick look at the lineup. And one thing I want to point out right now is CJ Crone has been pretty good for us so far, slugging .581, 347 on base. So he's hit 13 homers this year. He's already hit for 59 RBI, which of course really doesn't matter at all because that's just a product of where you hit in lineup. But it's just kind of fun to see that he's on pace for 157 RBI this year, and he's only on pace for 19 walks, which is pretty crazy. He does have a 351 BABIP, but I'm pretty interested to see if that ends up hanging around for the entire season. I bet it won't because he's pretty much a power hitter only. But let's go ahead and take a look at some other guys and how they performed. Miguel Cabrera, 394 OBP, 368 slugging. The power is pretty much gone in his game, which I mean, pretty much everyone I think knows that by now by the season he had in 2019. But 417 BABIP, so he's definitely gonna crash back down to earth at some point this year. Austin Romine, he's been pretty good offensively for a catcher. He stand by those standards, and he's been decent. At least Heimer Candelario has been pretty good for us. So far, 333 on base, slugging 42. About OPSing over 800. Love to see that. Of course, the above 100 OPS plus. Willie Castro, he's taken over the shortstop duties. Of course, he's a pretty young guy for us. 23, just turned 23 for the course of the season. And that's put Nico Goodrum as kind of a utility guy, as you can see. Backing up for a second shortstop. He also can play a bit of outfield for us. So Willie Castro, he's been playing pretty well actually. 327 on base, 463 slugging. I mean, can't really complain about that too much. Good gap power, but all of his other ratings are pretty mediocre. Scope has been okay. He was hitting better, but definitely going to want him to hit better. Other than that, 415 slugging to hopefully we could actually get something out of him. Other than like Cameron Maben, he's been pretty good, getting on base at a decent clip. The leadoff spot hasn't really been hitting for any power, as you can see, slugging in the 360s. Reyes hasn't been bad. Christian Stewart, pretty much hitting for no power at all. I don't really care for how these bench guys are doing because they don't really matter for our team at all. But pitching wise, I did call up Skabol here, or however you say it, because we did have Jordan Zimmerman, who went down for a while. He's only pitched 29 innings so far this year, so he did go down for a while. Of course, he's been horrible. Take a look, sort by FIP here. Yeah, FIP over 7. DeCaster's been pretty bad. Nova moved out to the bullpen when we brought him up. Pretty much, Joe Jimenez has actually been really good for us this year. Matthew Boyd has also been good. But other than that, nothing too special. Let's actually take a look at how a few of our top prospects were doing. Matt Manning, 54 strikeouts in 47 innings, not bad. 15 walks. Of course, the ERA doesn't really matter at this point. Casey Mize has not been good. I want to see what the ERA plus of 87. So he's been kind of struggling so far in AAA, but that will not deter us from calling him up at all this season. Okay, I think that's all I really want to go over. Let's just hop right into the first year player draft, where we of course have the number 1 pick in the draft. So let's get right into it. Sort by all players, not just all pitchers, and to make sure the guys with the highest potential are up first. And then let's take a look here at what if our scouting director likes anyone in particular. Jordan Walker. He looks like an interesting player. Very good bat, very good power, good discipline. Looks like a great power bat for the future. Third base, looks like he could most likely stick there for a while. Could also maybe be a corner outfield guy. Yeah, he has got pretty decent outfield rating, similar to Field Armstrong. He's definitely a corner infield, corner outfield guy, power bat. Definitely like that. I definitely wouldn't be opposed to drafting him. Definitely want to look at a bunch of these pitchers here, though. Their scouting accuracy is pretty low, but I do wonder if a guy like Howard would be, Walker would be available. Late in later rounds. Probably not, but I think we're gonna go with Walker here. Oh, we can't even meet his contract demands. Yikes. Oof. I didn't even think about that with our current budget. Maybe we probably should have tried the move. So what about, like, could we even afford? Okay, so we could afford him at 8 million. So honestly, we should just try to go and move basically whoever we can right now, so we can basically afford these guys, afford to draft meaningful players. So we're definitely alright. So we're gonna look to trade Scope and Crone right here. That would free up about 12 million, or not exactly 12 million since we've already started the season, but probably a chunk of money that would let us at least do something. I honestly don't really care what we get. I probably should have sorted by just prospects. So I'm seeing a lot of veteran guys that I definitely don't care about on the list right there. Yeah, none of those names really sticking out to me. Fewer leaders, a bunch of career bench infielders. Quick look through, nothing really stands out. We definitely don't want to pay anyone, so I'm actually just gonna go ahead and sort it by prospects right away, so we can get this money off our books. I didn't even consider that would be a factor at all. I knew we were pretty constrained on budget this year, but I don't really get all these names that are popping up because literally none of them are prospects at all. See this guy, decent fringe starter guy, 25. I definitely wanna go through this kind of quickly. I know the Red Sox are offering some kind of interesting guys right here. Jeremy Profar, I'm pretty sure he's the brother of Jerkson Profar. Like a little Durbin Feldman. I know he's a pretty. I don't know. Honestly, let's just go with Durbin Feldman right here. I'm gonna get this money out. Yeah, so we'll do that real quick, and then we'll also look to move Crone real quick, and then we'll hop right into that. Oh, the veterans are still checked. I didn't even realize. Oh, that would make sense why a lot of those guys in the other search that we did when we were shopping Scope around came up. Yeah, get veterans out of here. Do not want that. Okay, not really anything here, of course, but Blake Rutherford could be interesting. Decent defensive outfielder, not really any hitting ratings that I like. Oliver Ortega, maybe. Doesn't really have any decent ratings. Christian Santana, no. DJ Peters. He could be a decent outfielder for us. Kendall, rangy outfielder, very fast. Maybe Nick Nelson, a guy like this, maybe. Okay, actually, kind of like his ratings. Got like Luke Williams from the Phillies. Honestly, I might go with Peters. Just a quick look through this, because I'm actually pretty familiar with his ratings. I played a Dodgers save in the past where he actually turned out pretty decent. Dodgers, we're definitely going to go after Peters. Yep. It's going to free up another like 3 million for us. Hopefully this fixes that. Walker. Okay, we can afford Walker now, so we're gonna go ahead and do that right now. Next pick, again, let's look to see what our scouting director says. Logan Allen, left-handed starter from college. Don't really like his ratings that much, to be honest. Carlos Perez, catcher. I don't necessarily like his catching ratings, but can he? Alright, he can play infield and outfield. It's definitely a good bat. I'm gonna go ahead and snag Carlos Perez right here. Okay, Teal, another catcher. Those catching ratings aren't that good, but he can be moved around, it looks like. Crow Armstrong. I don't know if we're gonna be able to offer him what he wants. Just, oh, we're on all batters. I don't know how we got onto that. Couple relievers right here. Michael Flores, maybe a fringy starter at best. Austin Kessler. Cam Brown. Looks like this Brown guy could be pretty interesting. I think we're gonna go with him right here. Not really that much left, I'd say. Here, I think we're all gonna go with Kessler here. Corey Collins, another catcher. Of course, position is very, very flexible. If you draft a guy, of course, he does not have to stay there. A lot of guys get developed as other players, but the only thing is, in this game, catchers usually can't really play any other infield position. Armstrong's on the board, but we'll go with Collins. We, of course, looked at his ratings a little bit ago. And then here, we've pretty much reached the end of that. I think I do want to snag Michael Flores right here. But then after this is going to do it for all of you guys we're going to be drafting. So yeah, we're going to auto draft, complete draft, and okay, so do that. Oh, I did not want to do that. Negotiate with our draftees right here. Yeah, so all the guys that we want to offer contracts to, we did, and there's all the rest of those guys. Okay, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So thank you guys for watching, and tune in next time.